Hi, boys and girls. Do you remember the story that we were reading together last week? I thought maybe we'd read another one today. I had so much fun. Have you been hearing the birds chirping when you wake up in the morning? They're chirping outside my window, and it's fun to hear. My book today is about a special bird called a pigeon, and a dove is part of that family. You might have heard some mourning doves in your neighborhood cuckooing, cuckooing. But if you go to downtown Chicago, oh, there are a lot of pigeons down there that you would be able to see. I have a question for you. Have you heard the word protest? A protest is something that people do when they're upset with something and they really care about it and they're trying to make it a change. Well, today, the pigeons are going to be having a protest. Let's find out what they care so much about and what change they're looking for. So today, the book that I brought for you is called Dr. COO and the Pigeon Protest. It's by Sarah Hampson and Cass Reich. Those pigeons, I wonder what they could be unhappy about. Let's see. Well, Dr. Archibald COO was a big city kind of pigeon. He was sophisticated. Oh, he knew how to get around. And he knew how to land in just the right places. He had favorite perches in the city, the edges of beautiful buildings. He was friends with all the gargoyles, and statues. He knew it was better to be on their heads than on their shoulders, and he even liked park benches for a different view. Well, it's true that Dr. COO would often look down his beak in a way that made him look very serious, but he wasn't always. It was just that down deep in his feathers, he was a curious sort. He observed the way of the world as he flew around it. Dr. COO knew things, and he knew there was a problem, or he could see there was a problem with pigeons. One day Dr. COO was perched with his pigeon pals on the wire. There was Hooty Claw. He was a young pigeon that had just acquired his flying feathers. And alongside Hooty there was Vern Birdman, a shy fellow with a light brown suit. And then in flew Dove Blanchett. Oh, she prided herself on that shiny white coat. It was always spotless. "I'm part turtle dove, you know," she said. Well, the conversation turned out as it normally did. They cackled about the supply of corn kernels. They natted about the nearing of winter. They prattled about their new perches. But then Hooty Claw dared to bring up something that they had all been thinking about for a very long time. "We pigeons get no respect," he blurted. "Those humans down there, they just don't like us. They shoo us away." There, said Vern. "Calm down." "Calm down? No one appreciates the next generation of pigeons, and I'm going to stand up for it." Oh, yes, he was in quite a flap. "I know what Hooty means," offered Dove softly. "When people see bluebirds, oh, they get so dreamy-eyed and they call them their little fellas. Oh, and if they hear a cardinal sing, well, you would think they'd never heard a bird before. And just then, when you see all of the raindrops falling off of our little friend, with her head up high, she says, 'But we're just as beautiful.'" Well, Vera twitched a little bit, uncertain of, oh, should I say something? But then, well, he recalled a lady who swung her umbrella at him, and another time a car almost ran him over on purpose. "Oh, some people say we're just rats with wings." "It's the best of the modern world," said Dr. COO. "It used to be different. It used to be pigeons were once like angels, summoning the vision of another time. They accompanied the gods in ancient worlds, and they delivered the news of the Olympic Games in ancient Greece, and they were revered as signs of peace and love and wisdom and beauty. I've seen pigeons in important wars, fearlessly flying into danger with notes on their back. They delivered messages to the soldiers in battle, and they carried medicine for the soldiers that had been hurt. They were heroes." "I knew it," said Hooty. "I knew it. I knew they were very special." Vern said, "What should we do, Dr. COO? We need a plan." Well, Dr. Coo turned his head one way and the other way. He hummed, he hooted, he pecked, and then he pondered, and then he cuckooed a message in all of the pigeons' ears. They went and got all their other friends, and the next morning, all the pigeons had disappeared. The parks were empty. They were empty at the park benches, the edges of the buildings. The gargoyles were lonely. It was very eerie. And the people in the city were the ones who were muttering now, "What does this mean?" Well, those who came to the park with their breadcrumbs and their corn kernels were very sad. They spread out their offerings on the pavement. They reached out their arms, but still no pigeons came. The pigeons had been part of the busy life of the city, but now it was a mystery. Oh my goodness, all their beauty, and the parks were empty. Well, some people asked the mayor, "What shall we do?" But she had no clue. That's when Dr. Archibald Coo flew to the ledge outside her office, and he clutched a small book about the history of the pigeon, and on his little leg was strapped a letter. "Dear Miss Mayor, we pigeons have flown the coop because we feel unwelcome in our own home. A city is a place for all kinds. We love it here. Pigeons and people must learn to get along. We will refrain from splatting on cars and even heads. Let us create a composting area in the parks for our droppings. We will keep the statues and the public spaces clean, and will create fertilizer for our city's green spaces. In return, we ask that you remove the spikes that keep us off ledges. Don't shoo us away. Be neighborly. Stop and say hello, and please, no more running us down with your cars. Let's remember the history of cooperation between people and pigeons and enjoy living together in our beautiful city." The mayor was moved to a tear or two, and she shook Dr. Coo's claw. Well, that summer they had their first annual pigeon parade to celebrate diversity and friendship. And at an appointed time, a flock of pigeons filled the sky like sudden laughter in a room. And when the pigeons were over the crowds, they released something surprising, but not those usual droppings. They had little notes untied from the straps on their legs, and they fluttered down. They landed on people's heads and on their shoulders and on their cars, and everyone eagerly caught them. And when they opened them, they said, "When you are loved, you can love in return." I hope you remember that, boys and girls, because we're trying to make our world a better place, and you can all help to do that. Hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.